If there's one thing I see keeping people from long-term success in almost anything, it's having bad habits. How do you find them? How do you break them? How do you get over them? Keep watching this video. Hey guys, what's up? Jeremy back today again with another video to help you to live the dream and to make a profitable living in the process. Thank you so much for finding me, for watching this video. Today we're going to be covering a very important concept, something that all of us need to be looking at and addressing at all stages in our life and constantly overcoming. If you're watching this video, you are somebody who feels like there is something keeping you and blocking you from that next big breakthrough or from that next milestone in your life. And I know that your dreams and your ambitions are of the utmost importance to you, as mine are to me and as yours are to me as well, which is why I wanted to make today's video. There's a lot of research out there for how to make new habits, for how to hit goals. We talk about that all the time here and over on the blog at whatupjeremy.com. The reality is there's this dark side to goal setting, and there's this dark side to habits that we all need to address, and we all need to constantly be looking out for and be looking out for each other for as well. Because when it comes to the time necessary to complete anything, the last thing I want to do, the last thing I want for you to do is to delay that any further. And bad habits can be one of those things that cloud our judgment and that cloud our successes and really just delay them and postpone the journey and that success and to reaching that and having that sweet taste of completion and of getting to where we want to be in life. And so that's why I wanted to talk today about how you actually go about finding, identifying, and replacing and getting rid of bad habits. Because this is some house cleaning that we all need to be doing. And so as I say this, I'll tell you that this is a video I'm going to be turning back to. Should I develop bad habits, as I'm working through bad habits, so that I have a resource as well. So be sure to leave a comment wherever you're watching this and a thumbs up right now. That way you can provide value to other people in the comments, or maybe others and myself can provide value and give you help as well. So the first thing that we have to do in our process of breaking bad habits is we do have to find them. We're not going to talk about developing them because there's 100 ways to develop them. We're going to talk today, at least first, about identifying them. And so what we have to really look at is, in ways I like to start looking at this, is I always like to look at the long picture. What's the end game that I want? And when I do that and I have an idea for what that end game is, what I want to do is I want to write down some things that I think would keep me from getting to that point. And I'm doing this because, I kind of feel like it's a less personal thing to say me. And so I could put a habit there that might, or a lack of knowledge, or whatever those things might be. And I almost immediately, as I start writing out just that end goal and the sentence of what will hold me back, those habits will start to surface. You'll start to feel that in your mind and in your heart, in your intuition, start to come up and be that thing that could be the thing that keeps you back from it. The bad habit you have might be not making good habits. The bad habit you have might be not goal setting. The bad habit might be smoking cigarettes. It could be drinking alcohol, be consuming poor content. There's a ton of different habits, but the first thing we have to do is identify them. If you're having at all problems in the process of identifying it, I would turn to a friend that you trust and maybe ask them, hey, looking from the outside, what do you think are some of my habits that don't help me the most? Or what are some of my worst habits? What are some of my best ones? What are some of my worst? We have to identify it, all right? And we have to be able to find and seek this. And if you have never done this in your life before, it might be good to put something in your calendar or to put a reminder on your phone to help you to be looking for them and to be on the lookout for them so that you can identify them so that those don't become big weeds in your life. So the first thing we have to do is identify it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to also look at what is triggering it. Is it a bad habit that happens right after you get home from work? Is it a bad habit that you do right before bed or first thing when you're waking up? For some of you, it might be checking social media or the internet. That might not be bad in and of itself, but it might lead towards something that is less productive than what you're wanting or what you deserve in your life. We have to look at what that trigger is. So if you're someone who's looking to overcome social media first thing in the morning, the trigger might be the fact that your phone is the alarm. So what we might need to do is go get another alarm and charge the phone outside of your room or in the bathroom on airplane mode so that it's not that first thing that you see. We have to identify it, and then we have to look one step back to figure out what's the trigger. What's the thing we're doing right before then that's causing that? Is it a phrase? Is it a TV show? Is it something right before the TV show because the TV show is a bad habit? We really have to look at those things. Once we've identified the bad habit and the trigger, now what we want to do is change and remold our relationship to it. So maybe your bad habit is that you go straight to the couch right after work when you get home, and what you really want to be doing with your end goal is to be running your own business and be time free. I know a lot of you will resonate with that. Let me know in the comments if so. And every day you get home, you go straight to the couch and you just start feeling guilty about all the things you need to be learning, the self-development, the habits. You should be working out. You should even just be making dinner. You haven't walked the dog yet. You just start to become very unhappy with yourself. So your trigger is you get home from work. The bad habit is that you go straight to the couch, you start watching TV, and it ends up resulting in you wasting any amount of time, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. I want you to feel the same way with those 5 minutes or those 5 hours. That's the bad habit. The trigger is you get home from work. So now we've actually made our way backwards. We found our trigger. We found that every day we have a habit when we get home of doing this sequence of events. What I want for you to do now is to write out the habit that you want to replace it with. A small tweak in this could be, in this scenario, is instead of getting home and watching content that doesn't help you, you put on something self-development wise. And maybe you don't use the TV for it, you put it on your phone, and that's gonna cause for you to start making dinner and start cleaning the place. You can listen to it passively while you're actually doing things. And now you're doing 2 things at once, so now you're kind of breaking that habit. Or maybe decide, hey, instead of getting home and turning the TV on, I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer. I'm gonna go outside, or I'm gonna sit in solitude, and I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to release thoughts, and I'm gonna calm my mind. A very helpful habit that I implore you to start doing. This is something I've become a bit more consistent in most recently. And if you want to hear more about that and how I'm doing that and some of those breakthroughs and tips, then leave a comment. I'd love to share about that. You've identified the habit. You've found the trigger that sets it off. You now have a couple ideas for how you want to go about making that happen, about other things that you can replace that habit with. But what if things just aren't sticking? This is where we get a little bit more technical and a little bit more advanced. And what I want for you to do is I want for you to call on a friend or friends like social media or mom or dad or something like that. And I want for you to tell them that, hey, I'm working on this new habit because when I get home from work, I watch a bunch of TV and I just don't like it. And so what I'm going to start doing is meditating. Or what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to put on some self-development like a course or podcast or YouTube self-development video. And I'm going to continue on with my evening as I clean and get things going. And so what you can ask for is, hey, mom or dad or friend or social media, I'm going to be doing that. So what I would really appreciate from you is checking in with me. Or if it's cool, I'm going to come in and post, or I'm going to send you a message after I have successfully redone that habit so that I can share in that success and so that we can celebrate it together. So you're asking now for some accountability. And this is extremely important in goals in general, as well as breaking bad habits, which is kind of your new goal right now, breaking that one habit that you might be thinking of identifying and tackling first. The next thing that is a little bit more advanced now is something I learned from Tim Ferriss. I may have mentioned him earlier in this. It might have been the previous video that I recorded because I batched these. But what Tim does when he wants to be held accountable towards any goal or anything he's working towards is he puts money on the line, but he doesn't do it in a positive way. He does it in a way that would feel bad or hurt him. And so he has a friend who has access. It's a software. If I can find a link for it, I'll put it. But you could also just pen a check and essentially put it in an envelope and have it addressed and ready to send off. And what he does is he puts $1,000 on the line, or whatever the monetary amount is, donating to George Bush's library fund, which he does not want to support. And so regardless of politics, he doesn't want to support any of that. And so it would cause harm to him if he actually didn't do his thing. And so instead of supporting George Bush, he's going to go and do that thing every day. So maybe you can find a cause to give money to that you really like, or one that would really, really lead you closer to pain that you don't want to help with. Or maybe it's handing money to somebody that you don't really want to, a younger sister or a roommate or something like that. That would be embarrassing. Well, put that on the line so that you're more invested and so that you want to move further away from the pain and closer to the pleasure of where you want to be in life. The fact of the matter is that your goal and that your journey, whatever you're working towards in life right now, is waiting for you. And we have to do the self-work inside to get rid of those weeds so that we can make as much progress in the right direction as fast as possible. If you're watching this right now, here's what I want to know in the comments. What's the bad habit that you are trying to break? Or what's a couple bad habits that you think would be worthy of breaking? I'll be sure to choose one comment, as always, from one of the first couple posters to be sending something for free. And if you miss out and you're watching this in the future, then be sure to still comment, because what we do is we take all the comments and engagement at the end of the week from all of our platforms: YouTube, my blog, Instagram, my email list, and we pick winners from there as well. So you haven't missed out if you're watching this in the future, but do comment on videos first when they come out for a chance to win. And of course, if you missed it, you have more chances to win at the end of every week. We give away mentoring calls from me and my network, best self-journals, swag, courses, resources, and a bunch of other stuff. So be sure to do that. Last week's winner was Stephanie, and we sent her over a best self-journal. So if you want to be included on that, then just leave a comment and let us know. If you like this, head to whatupjeremy.com/subscribe from my words or from the description below, and be sure to opt in for my VIP newsletter so you hear about events, content, and other exclusive giveaways that we don't talk about anywhere else, and so you can hear first about the content that we're putting out here for free. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one.